Welcome to the Monday Update, my valued viewers, right into sales from last week. First sale last week was the Johnson Universal Film Developing Tank, and it sold for $11.65 delivered. Next was vintage wood met hostess trolley, you know, cocktails, drinks trolley, food serving trolley type thing, $39.99 delivered. Boyer microphone, the My Rode microphone replaced this, so I'd only used it a couple of times. Sold it like new for £15 instead of, I don't know, £22 brand new. I was very happy with it, but I don't need it any longer. I've got a much better one. Very much like, if you noticed, you might notice a bit of difference from last week and the week before and the week before that, and all the other time I've been stood here in the garage talking to you, is the lighting may have changed quite a considerable amount. This is a much more daylight light, I think, rather than a blue light, but also it's because I've taken my big lights up into the bedroom, the back bedroom, where I'm doing my listing station now. I've done my much bigger table with a higher background, a 1 meter high background, so I can photograph larger items, and the lights are in there for the moment until I get my flat panels installed that are going to be swung out from the walls. And in the meantime, I'm just using these. They're only small, but they're pretty good. They've always been good. I've had them for a while. Ulanzi RGB lights. They're only small. These are about, I think they're about 30 quid each, but I got them at a car boot for £4 each. And there's one here, and then I've got a daylight warm light above, which is, I could have used one of these Ulanzis, but I only kept two. I sold the other two at a profit, of course. Right, back to where I was. Seiko ER2000 Concise Oxford Dictionary Thesaurus and Spell Checker, 26 and 19 pence, £21.99 plus £4.20 delivery. It was an international sale. They paid, well, quite a considerable amount on top. I don't know how much, but it went to New Zealand. Santa Claus. Now, I showed you these last week. Two Santa Claus. No, I showed you them 3 weeks ago, and then I showed you that they were going out last week. Two Santa Claus. Good job. They bought them together. Only one had postage on, but I put them in the packaging together and saved myself a little bit of postage. No, not a lot, because it was a nice big strong box. That got down to the last 2 boxes, so over the weekend I've ordered another 20. I know people say you should go to get them from the supermarkets and dumpsters, and I do that, but it's nice to have a nice square double strong box. Whenever you need it, I've got them ready for when I need them, especially when sometimes larger electronics, perception is important. You know, perception is important to the customer, that it gets delivered in a strong box. You've only got to read my feedbacks, and then you know. I know that I've got good feedback. I don't even have to look at it, but I will read you the last few. Just perfect. Item arrived quickly and well packaged. Absolutely love the espresso cups, thank you. Would definitely recommend the seller. Perfect item, thank you. Wrapped amazingly well for protection on its journey. The item was exactly as described, in excellent condition, very well wrapped, and a swift delivery. I am pleased with the products and service from this seller. Great communication, a pleasure to buy, arrived early, many thanks, A+ seller. Right, that's enough. Don't like to blow me on horn. Feedback is important if you expect people to trust you. Talking about that, well, we'll get onto that in a minute. So, where was I? Ah yes, next thing that sold was Simpsons mug. You'll see the picture. Yeah, it was a nice mug that. Bought it 3 weeks ago, sold it 2 weeks ago. Lovely. Real quick, and I think it was only a few days after listing. Let me see. Oh, it took a week. £10 from a pound, £4.20 postage, £14.20. I've just read you the feedback for these. Wild and Wolf Scrabble espresso cups. There you are. £10.15. Not a huge amount of money profit margin in it. I think I paid £3 for those. Sold them for £6 plus postage. Not good. Not the amount of time it takes to photograph that sort of thing. Really, pottery and the risks involved. You really need to be looking at £15 profit. And £3 profit isn't enough, especially when you're paying fees on that. So that's a fail. It was a good feedback, nice customer and everything, but no, not so good. Onwards to the topic of today, returns. I'm only looking at this digital TV recorder, and actually this one went fine. £30.20 for this one, but what can I say? Over the last 6 months, I've had 4 returns on electronics. 4. And nothing on anything else, because when I pack parcels, they don't get damaged. Mostly. I say that. The triangular things that went to America for delivery in, I think it was Washington State, they got damaged in transshipment. The person got a refund. I got no problems. But it's GSP's problem once they've got delivered to the GSP warehouse in the UK. They'd repackaged it, not as well as I do either. So what can you say? So yeah, returns. I had 4 electronics returns in the last 6 months, and I've had 3 last week? Well, the first one, as it was being delivered, their next door neighbour offered them a box which was very similar. It was a recorder, and they said, oh no, you can have this one for free. So they put a return in before it was even delivered, and as such, of course, they had to pay the return fee. I mean, I'm £7 out of pocket, but never mind that. It didn't even repack it. They just put the label straight over mine and it got sent. They paid for that, and I was happy to refund. I mean, if you ask eBay about that sort of thing, it's a cost of business, and well, that's fair enough. I'm not paying large overheads in order to have a shop people can walk into. Second one was, oh, it doesn't work, as soon as they got it. And it was this. I've repackaged it again. It was quite grotty when it arrived back, and it didn't have any good packaging in, but I took it out, tested it, and it worked fine. But they said it didn't work in order to return it for free, and I don't like abuse, so I've reported them. I've also reported the abuse of the return. I've also deducted 10% for the damage to the packaging, which is, I can't sell it as, well, you can see the condition now. I can't sell this, especially with bubble wrap inside instead of the packaging, as new in the box anymore. So I took 10% off, and I also applied to have the postage refunded that I had to pay to return it. So what will happen is another thing. And then the third one was, it was a Humax box, BT Vision UView TV recorder, and they said it goes off after 3 hours and you can't turn it back on the remote or anything. It just stops. You've got to turn it off at the wall, you know, the switch at the back, and then turn it back on again. To say, fourth coffee, I'm in need of it. And yeah, I was a bit, I mean, it's having a soak test now to see whether it actually turns off after 3 hours. There is an option in the power saving menu to turn it off if it's unused or not playing after 3, 6, 9 or 12 hours, or never. And they said they'd set it to never, and I'm like, are you sure? Because this is an issue. Oh no. So anyway, they went back and they tested it again, and they said no, it's still doing it. It's not exactly 3 hours. So I've looked it up this morning, because they then issued me a thing on Saturday saying, have you tested it yet? And I'm like, test it during working hours. Weekends are my time off. Now, I mean, you know, and I know that Sunday I work most mornings. But it was a bit insistent at 10:30 on a Saturday morning, you know what I mean? I thought, no, I'll give it 3 or 4 hours on Monday. But I have looked it up on the websites. There's a forum about, you know, that sort of system. And it does have issues with either the software or capacitors. It's very difficult to know which, and if there's a capacitor problem, the switch won't turn it back on if it goes into standby. So even if it doesn't go after 3 hours today, I think I'll give the guy the benefit of the doubt, because it's a known issue. So it's just you know, it's annoying to have so many returns and refunds in a week. We're talking over 100 quid's worth in total, but it's just one of those things you've just got to live with, isn't it? Right, back to where we were. Dion, this is a DVD digital video recorder. But they haven't had any issues with this up to now. £26 plus £4.20, £30.20, and that was a DTR 250 SS10 plus remote control. And yeah, that was, I showed you it, I think it was a fortnight ago. Panasonic, love a good Panasonic because they're reliable, dead reliable. DMR HWT 130. This is another TV recorder, Freeview. Yeah, I know, I've been concentrating on them a lot lately, but people want them. It's free. They don't have to subscribe. They don't have to pay every month. You know, this is a big bonus. £44.20. That's like less than 4 months. No, it's about 2.5 months subscription to something like Now TV, isn't it? 2 video games from the same listing. Lots of PS3 games. They only bought 2 of them though. That's fair enough. Prince of Persia and BioShock 2. Both great games. BioShock better than Prince of Persia, I believe. A lot of these little level games, once you know what you're doing, it's just a level game. BioShock's a good adventure game. £6.88 because there was a discount from £7.64. But they went together for, I don't know, £2.40 postage, I think. It's not huge, but they only cost me under 50p each. Simpsons Hit and Run, I got this a fortnight ago, and it sold for £11.99, just like I said it would. This is the one where I bought it as part of a bundle with the PS2, which is on the side here, and that cost £15 with the PS2, with the controller, 2 controllers, one's third party, and yeah, I've sold that for £11.99 delivered, so that I get about £8 back off that. Not bad really. Out of this £15 I've already invested. This was nice. Dresser sporting scope. It's like for sniping animals, or even if you were just like, say, a bird watcher and you're looking down the scope to find when the birds are sitting on the trees or whatever they do. Birdies, don't know really. It's never been my thing. So yeah, that was £14.70 delivered. £10.50 on auction. I started it at 99p. It cost me £1. Started at 99p, knowing it would go more than that. And this is what I'm doing now. If something's a bit uncertain whether I get any money for it, I'm not hanging it around. I'm doing a few auctions a week. I mean, I got to the point where I'm over me 200 listings a month now, thank goodness. 250 I think it is, and so I'm using my auctions up as well. In fact, some of the games I bought last week, the Xbox games that was in that big bundle, put them in bundles of 10, tested them, bundles of 10, listed them at 99p. They've both got bids. I did them like 7:30, 8:30 night over the weekend. They've both got bids. It's only starters bids, but hopefully next weekend they'll sell as well. Another Humax HDR 1800T 320GB Freeview TV recorder, and that one went for £55.95 delivered, £49.99 plus postage. Next was a Sony DVD player, which I'd unlocked to make it multi-region. It was a Blu-ray player, but you're selling it as a DVD player that also plays Blu-rays because it's region free. The DVD part is to be concentrated on, so I've put it as DVD and Blu-ray player. See, what's important to the person who can play multi-region DVDs is that it plays multi-region DVDs. Oh, on the side it also plays region B Blu-rays. You see? Anyway, I got £44.79 plus postage, £52.79. Right, now then, we're into what's going out today. First one, obviously, pictures on the side. Angel of the Heart, Willow Tree figurine, 2000 by Susan Lordy. £12.49 delivered. That's not a bad price, I think. That was promoted though, and it was down from about £15 plus postage, so nearly half price, £8.49 plus postage. Next, after that, this Sony pictures are virtually everything's pre-bubble wrap. I'm finding it better to have these things bubble wrap. You don't get damaged at all while in storage or damp. This is a CFD S50, which actually means it's a radio cassette and a recorder and a CD player. Good aerial, works on a power lead or on batteries, and that went for £18.95. I think it cost me £3 the week before, so that's nice. Plus postage, £24.95. That's going out this morning. Next, Burnout 3. This is one of the ones from that big bundle, but it seemed to be worth listing separately, and I got £5.99 delivered, so yeah, it was worth listing separately. Next, you might notice there's twice as many as normal. Yeah, they bought 2 packs of 50, 100, and that's going out for £15.98. Yeah. I've got 350 left that are in good condition and about 50 that are marked or chipped or something like that. You know, by the time I sift through the 350, there's probably only going to be 320 good condition ones. There are a few marks here and there, you know, but that means another 6 or 3 like that, or 6 separates, which comes to another £45. That was a good buy for £3, wasn't it? So yeah, out of the 500, maybe 400 in 50s, that's £8. Well, the first few were £6.50, as you know. Next, Panasonic power supply. This is from a fortnight ago. The PN-LV226E. There you go. And I got £7.95 for that. The whole phone system only cost me a couple of quid, and I think there was 2 of those, and obviously the handsets. So that was £7.95. So I've made a quid on it, but by the time I've sold the handsets, I'll have made a lot more. Oh, and if you notice, it's free packaging. That bit of cardboard. There's a bit of packed in bag at the ends. I find it easier than sorting the wires out on a daily basis. It's easier to pack them as I go. Next, Samsung BD-F5100. This is internet capable DVD USB internet player with remote, and that went for £32.20 delivered. Last one of the week, another Willow Tree, Angel of the Garden. She's got a spade. £8.99. Another one that's discounted, and that's fine. They actually came to me and they offered me 7, and I said no. I came back with £7.50, and I said that is the lowest I'll take. I have to pay eBay fees. I have to buy them. I have to wrap them and photograph them. You know, I don't do this for free. Anyway, they then paid full price, which is nice. £8.99 plus postage, £13.19, and that is the end of last week's sales. 23 orders, which is, you know, it's not bad at all. One of them was a double order. Well, 2 of them with the games. So 25 sales individually, if you see what I mean. But obviously those were only small items. Not bad. £518.10. Not bad. Another £100 would be a bonus, but I'm quite happy with that. It's better than £4, 411, I think it was the week before, 417, something like that. There's a few more things going out as well. Yes, the first sale of this week was this. You haven't seen this before. I bought this yesterday. As soon as I got home, I listed it, knowing that they shift fast. These are the Nicorette inhalator. There you go, Nicorette inhalator. Just realised it. I turned the autofocus off, so the depth of focus is quite good on this camera because it's a weird lens. It's a 14 to 42. Yeah. So there you go. Nicorette inhalator with 36 cartridges. And that was part of a job lot. I bought 4 of the smaller packs and this one for £5. So the 4 of the smaller ones are listed together as 4 packs, and each one of those has got 6 cartridges, so that's 24 cartridges. I've listed them for £22. I listed these for £27.99 delivered for 36 cartridges. Not bad. And yeah, they sold in an hour or so. They've always been fast movers for me, any of these stock. So hopefully I'll sell the others today or soon anyway. They're not as good value. Maybe I'll reduce the price a little bit and it'll be under everybody else's price and sell immediately. As it is, I bought both sets for, well, that and the set of 4 for £5, so I'm well into profit already. Next, this. See, the big profits outweigh the small losses. This is a small loss. I bought these for £2 each. I think I've sold 5. So this one's £2.99 plus postage, and they are heavy, so we are talking over £3 in postage. So after all the fees, I'm making a loss. Never mind. And then I got a grow clock. You'll see the picture there or wherever. Now I've got 2, and of course it says in the grow clock, it says number 2, but they both say number 2 on. Normally what happens is I list them in the order I've bought them and the numbers are sequential, but they don't sell in the order you buy them. If you've got 2 in stock, you might sell number 1, and I have. And then rather than finding out what this one was numbered at, this one, I've put number 2 on this one. As it is, again, they haven't sold in order. This one that I had first hasn't sold. But this one that I had last week, or the week before, it says the 5th of September. Listed since the 5th of September. Sold on the 11th. So, yeah, under a week. And that's sold. But this one, which is 50p cheaper, I might add, didn't sell. That's visibility for you. It wasn't sold on promotion either. So I don't know how they managed to get that done, but I don't mind. £11.99, no, sorry, £12.49 that one. Plus postage, £16.69. So with those 3 items up to now this week, yeah, it's 3 items. It is £51.17. Yeah, last week I said it was I think it was about £78 by Monday lunchtime, and it ended up at 518, so you know, that's fine. So I'm going to clear it, wrap all this gear, get it to the post office, turn these lights off because they are battery powered, but they charge up with USB-Cs, so I might put them on charge in the meantime. And then I'll be back and show you what I bought yesterday. It's actually some good stuff, including obviously this. I won't be showing you this, you've seen it. Oh, by the way, thank you for all the new subscribers. Look at that number, or look at that number, depending on where in the screen it is. 501 this morning. Might be 502 by the time you see this, or even 503, God willing. Thank you for subscribing, all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. I hope you don't unsubscribe after a week. Pickups, a quick run through of what I bought, North Cave and then Hull. So I got 7 Xbox One games off a guy, and he said £1 each, and I'm like, can I have them for £5 for the lot? There is 7. There's ones with a broken case there. And he accepted a £5 for the lot. This lot would trade in at CEX for over 25, maybe 28, maybe 26, depending. I might change the box out if I was to do that. There's nothing I want to play there, maybe Dead Rising 4. But otherwise, yeah, trading, I think, for speed. So that would make me a good straightforward £20 profit on vouchers. That would be maybe 20 cash. So that would be a £15 profit if I was to say take them in for cash. Also, at the same stall, and this is the important point, when you've got something off somebody at a car boot and they're still putting stuff out, ask them if they've got anything else, always. I said to him, have you got anything else, electronics, gaming, you know, or cameras? And he says, oh, I've got that, as he was just getting it out of the car. So I was thirsting, and it's this, and I thought at first it was DS, kids like you know, case, but it's not a DS, it's Switch Lite, quite nice, the turquoise version, Nintendo Switch, there you go, and it's all working, very nice, with a game. There we go. Olympics 2020 Tokyo. It's not the best game in the world. Probably be £10 or £12 though. It also has a memory card, 32GB. Not bad at all. And even the CEX trading on this is about 75, plus there's the trading on the game. But I wouldn't with this, because I haven't got one. And it's the first time I've had one. Not because I haven't seen them about, it's just that I don't really want to spend loads of money on it. So I said to him, how much is it? And I was expecting him to say £90 and then maybe have to knock him down a bit. And he says to me, oh, well, they're about £70 online. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, that's roughly about right. And then he said, so how about 50? I'm like, well, there's £5 for those games, so I'm going to get £20 back, roughly. I'm thinking at the time. I hadn't looked up each one on the app or anything, or what they're selling for on eBay or anything. So I'm thinking, oh, well, I'd pay for it, some of it. And I'm like doing the mental maths in my head. And, you know, I mean, it's got a case. I'm not really keen on the case, and it's a few marks on the back, but I could probably sell the case separately. And I'm like doing this mental arithmetic, and he sees me, and I think he interpreted me as not necessarily interested at that price. So he said to me, how about £45 for that and the games? I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. Snapped his hand off at that. If I take the games into CEX and take the £25 vouchers, that means I've effectively got this for £20 for a Switch Lite with a game. So that was my first purchase, £45 straight off. I got a wireless print server from HP. It's just a little USB adapter type thing that receives Bluetooth from your laptop, your phone, any type of Bluetooth adapted computer, so you don't need to have loads of wires and cables. This just plugs into the back of your printer. You can just sit it on top of your printer, and you don't need all loads of 500 meters of cabling, and you can obviously print from anywhere in the house. It's not bad. Anyway, that cost £1, sealed. Nice. I probably will take it out of the box and call it, you know, opened unused, because people don't trust something that's been, there's only those little round seals. I mean, you know, anybody could put those on really. Next, a couple of AV gear. This is an LG 3D Blu-ray player, very dusty. You can't see it now, I've given it a bit of a dust, but it still needs a clean. But there was enough dust that I could write my name on the top while I was looking at it. With a power supply and a remote, and I said to him, how much is it? And he's like, £3, because he could see it was really dusty. It had been in the garage or something, and I offered him £2 and he took it, so that's nice. That's a probably £25 item. It is LAN connected, so you can, with a LAN wire, stream iPlayer, that sort of thing. Probably Netflix, probably Amazon. I'm not sure what apps are on it. I will have to run it, and I'll change the advert that I've already got for all my net connected Blu-rays and just change the title and the features a little bit, and away you go. New photos. So that was £2, and I also paid £2 for this one on a few stalls further along. This is a Goodman's, not the best make going, and it's literally just a screen with a few dots here and there. I'm not even sure whether it even has numbers on this, but it is a GD11 FVR SD50, so it's standard definition with a SCART on. It's not HD, and it's a Freeview recorder box though, 500GB. It will need a remote, and the remotes are between £6 and £7. So I paid £2 for this, so that effectively it'll be £9 by the time I've got it running and working. I'll plug it in first and make sure it's running, but obviously you can't do any of the recording, you can't do anything really without the remote, because it's just an on button. That's it, just the on button. So you need the remote. Once you've got the remote, £40 to £50. So I was pleased with that for £2. Then I got 3 wires off a charity stall, give them a dig about and had a look. I got, well, I say wires, one's an adapter, a battery charger for Fujifilm camera. It's a BC45 for a BC45 battery or whatever. One's a Motorola adapter with a very old sort of 2-prong system. The plastic prongs don't have the electricals in. There's 3 or 4 little prongs between them. They're meant to protect it. I mean, a jack plug doesn't need any protection and works just as well, but never mind. And here's a USB to mini USB, not micro. This is good for PS3 charging, or lots of cameras need a mini USB to transfer the data, you know. So they were £1 for the 3. Not bad at all, really. There's this as well. Bush 2 screens that go in the back of a car. They actually have a DVD player in each screen. It says here that it's DVD player with dual screens. It's not. It's 2 DVD players with a screen each. You can share the screens so that each of them both will play the same screen. You've got a transfer cable between the 2. There's also independent headphones and independent remotes. So child A can't change child B's screen, and child B can't change child A's screen. It also has a 12-volt adapter, but what's missing out of the box, I didn't know at the time, but I still offered him less. He offered me at £10, and I hummed and hawed, and we came to 6. And the reason being is, like, it's not worn, it's just the box isn't as good as it could be, and the wires are all tangled up. What I didn't realise was it's meant to have 2 mains adapters as well, and both of those are missing. It's got the battery adapter for the car, and I've plugged that in, and they're both screens working, both DVDs playing, no problem there. I haven't done the transfer from one to the other, but it doesn't have mains adapters. If I'd known it was meant to have them, maybe I'd have only offered 5. And it's going to be difficult to sell as a set without them, and they're coming in at £12 and £15 delivered. But honestly, when I looked at it, I thought to myself, these are really handy as screens, never mind DVD players, but when you're testing video games, they're a really ideal size. I do have another screen this size, but the audio's gone on it. It doesn't play sound, you know. Plus, it doesn't have a DVD built in like these. So these were £6 for the 2, £3 with a DVD built in, and working perfectly for something like a PS2, PS1, Xbox 360, something like that. We'll go straight into this. One thing they don't have, because they're not HD, is an HDMI cable input, which it's a bit of a pity really, but it does have AV out to RCA. So you could probably get an RCA to SCART. In fact, I have those that are designed for video games. So you can play it straight into the back of an older TV. They'll be handy for testing. So they're probably just equipment. Right, then I went to Hull. Next I went to, the first thing I saw was, first place I went was the landfill guys stuff. Clearance, but really, really rough clearance mostly. He does have a stall to the side selling other stuff, but he has several lines of boxes that have really seen better days. I don't know whether he's bought them off other people's clearances or what, but anyway, I saw this, or rather I saw the nylon case that this came in. Bit dusty, bit grimy, and it's got feet. It's an aluminium sort of roller, and it has a stand. Well, it is a stand. It has this sort of aluminium rod in pieces. There we go. Which is basically nearly as tall as this ceiling. It's just over 2 meters. And then there's a roller. That's the wrong side. That's the side that matters. It's all printed though. Festival it says. And they're designed for, you know, advertising. Unfortunately, they're all printed up with the Hull Freedom Festival signs, which is a sort of musical and civic festival that they have in the summer every year in Hull. They like celebrate the end of slavery. Yeah, so they have those here because William Wilberforce is from Hull. He had his big house in Hull in the old town, so they have a festival celebrating the end of slavery every year. So anyway, I've got 8 of those because the guy, when he saw I was looking at it, he says, "Oh, I've got some more of those." And I said, "Oh, you'd be interested." Anyway, got them all out, and there was actually 9, but one was really badly damaged, so I left that. But actually, what I should have done was taken it anyway because of this. Because 2 of the ones that I didn't inspect are missing those, so I've actually got 6 complete ones. Anyway, he wouldn't let me leave without taking all 8 for a £5. I did send my brother a picture because he has dealt with printing for those. He had one of those large printers that printed it onto vinyl. I'm not sure whether he's still got it, but he said to me, "They're not expensive, you know, those." Oh, aren't they? Oh. It's all aluminium, so there's probably, I don't know, 2 kilos of aluminium, and maybe the roller in the middle is quite heavy, I don't know. It's well over 3.5 kilos in weight. Anyway, he sent me a picture, and yeah, they're under 20 quid plus VAT. And they're about £30 plus VAT printed, and people buy them from the manufacturer, printed up for them. You send them a PDF of what you want printed on it. They print it before they send it, and then you don't have to put your own posters into them and all that sort of stuff. They've done all that for you, so that's why people pay the money to get it all done for them. Yeah, there isn't much of a second-hand market really, unfortunately, because to take that apart, it's too much time in man hours, and then you've got to get some new stuff and print it up and then put it back together again. Bit of a fail, I think, but it was only a £5, so what I think I'll do is I'll put one up, take photos from all sides, and then say, "Look, here's 6, I'm going to auction them, see what happens." I'm sure I'll make a good profit percentage wise, but I'm not going to be making £40 on each one like I thought I might. I got a box of phones. Unfortunately, it's not a 4600 big button trio. I said to the guy, "How much is it?" And he's £5. And I'm like, opened it up, I'm like, straight away, £5 for the big button trio 3. But it's not. It's nothing like that, in fact. It's an old Panasonic system. But there's 4 handsets. And there's 3 power supplies. 1 main base and 2 other adapters. So I'm thinking there may have been 3 adapters and they've missed one. Sorry, 4. And they've missed one because there's 4 handsets, but only 3 of them got batteries in, so maybe this is just a spare, I don't know. Anyway, I said to the guy, "Oh, it's not the BT one, you know, like it says on the outside." And he's like, "Oh, it's still a phone." Yeah, but you know, you can't sell it in the box as though it's good quality stuff. Anyway, I paid £2 in the end. Those 3 power adapters are the ones I've been selling for £8 each. So if I was just to sell those on their own, that would come to maybe £11 or £12 profit for me. But I'll probably try and sell the main base with a handset, and then the 2 handsets with a charger, the adapter, you know, the base for them to sit in, the charge adapter, and then the handset itself with batteries in once I've tested them. That's something else I've got to do. I've got a lot of phones to test lately and I haven't got around to it yet, so I've got to take probably a day or two to test and list. If I'm doing it separately, it's probably a couple of dozen. If I'm going to do it in boxes full like that as one item, actually I think this is split because there's more money in it split. Together, because it's an older phone, it's probably only 20 quid together, but it might be 45 to 50 pounds separately. The same goes with a lot of the phones in there that are Panasonics. The BT ones I could probably do in, you know, a box at a time, but yeah, there's 2 bagfuls over there. Something I've got to get on with. Next was a PlusNet hub for £1. I think I got this from the same guy as the aluminium stuff, the clearance guy, the landfill guy. This is the same type of hub that I've been getting the feet off. There we go. Pink though. This is PlusNet version of the BT hub 4 or 5, I can't remember. Exactly the same feet, but they're pink. Hopefully they could go for as much money. I shall look into that because I don't have the power adapter, so selling it separately without testing it works perfectly is a bit off really. Selling the feet, nothing to go wrong, is there? And I make more money. That's as long as the pink ones sell. I got a Sony Cybershot. It's a 3.2 megapixel DSC P72. Quite an iconic camera, but it doesn't have a battery in it, doesn't have memory card. Now normally I say to people, or say to you lot, actually I think it runs on AA's this. Yeah, it does. It's a bit corroded. 2 AA's though. No, I ain't got any down here. Yes I have. Saying that, I don't think it'll work because of that corrosion. Let's put them in. On the off chance. No. Okay, anyway, it cost £1. And really I shouldn't have paid that. I shouldn't have bothered. It'll go in my pile. Now the next thing I bought was those Nicorette inhalators. I showed you one earlier. The the pack with 36 in that I've already sold for £28. Well, that clears me about £21. I paid £5 for that one and 4 smaller packs, so I'm already £16 in profit. The 4 smaller packs, I've got them up for £22 for the 4. They only have 4 cartridges each. So anyway, they're up for 22. I've sent offers out at 18, but I would take anything over 15 really, quite honestly, because I've already made £15, £16 profit. Anyway, I haven't got them out to show you. Fujifilm Finepix A310. This is an adapted cradle and the power supply, I believe. A battery charger? No, power supply to this cradle. Yeah. So you get a silver cradle for the phone, for the camera to sit in, and an adapter. Doesn't have a figure 8 cable with a plug, and it should, so I will add one in. As you know, I got like 5 the other week in a box with loads and loads of other stuff, and then so I'll just go through that, find one, add it in, and then hopefully get like 8 or 10 quid for that. It cost me £1. This was a fail. It's quite a nice little fail, but unfortunately it doesn't sell for much. This is a T-Rex plush from Jurassic World, and it's official Jurassic World one. Unfortunately they don't sell for much at all, even though he's like one of the better looking ones. We're only talking maybe 6, maybe 7 plus delivery, so £10 in total. It cost me £2 though. I should have paid only 50p. Still, it's done now. I know for next time. You know, I've never really got on with plushes. Every so often I have a foray into buying half a dozen and selling them off, but I end up with less money than I hoped for, and the margins compared with, say, the electronics that I know are going to sell, they're not good really compared. Plus they're bulky compared. I had an Eeyore one and it must have been 18 inches tall, probably about the same in width, and it only went for like 7 or 8 quid, but it took up half a cupboard. Next I got these Christmas lights in a box. light up Christmas town display. I paid £4 because it looks interesting, but unfortunately half of it isn't working. I'll show you what it is. So there's these wooden things with garlands on. There's two big ceramic sort of Christmas displays. This one is the nicest one, but unfortunately the power thing's been pushed in and so's the switch. I pulled the base off and it's difficult to get at, and there is a fan and speaker, so I'm not sure whether there's some sort of music meant to be playing. That's not doing it so well. All these bits have got a lantern, and that's meant to light up. I did test these, they're not working. Some of them might, if it was say attached with the battery box. There's a battery box, and I think you're meant to attach like a trailing lead for all those little ones, but the big ones have a power adapter. There's the battery box with the lead, as you can see, but unfortunately it's broken right there. This one is working. I might sell it separately with the power adapter, because that's a very big box and quite weighty with all the other stuff that's maybe not worth so much. I'll show you this working. So there's the power adapter. There you go. So there's a light inside and it lights up all the windows, and then there's fibre optics. See, there's a power cable for all the little bits that are meant to be attached to it. Put that underneath. And there's a on-off switch, and it says if the cable of this product is damaged it cannot be repaired and the product must be destroyed. Okay then. There you go. It might be better if I turn the lights off, but I'm not going to bother. You can see that it's all lighting up. So I might sell this bit separately with the power adapter. It cycles through different colours as well, so I'm assuming it's LEDs inside with the fibre optics all running through the ceramic. It's quite clever. So it costs £4. I think I'll try and sell this on its own. I might add in a couple of the others if I can get them working, or if they are working. But it says it's not repairable, so I'll take them as read that it's not repairable. Power adapter, the one that's working is working, so I might sell that separately. So that was £4. A couple of other little things. So earlier on I'd seen a camera on display and I said to the guy, how much is that? And it was a red Sony 16 megapixel camera. He's like £25. So I went to turn it on and it wouldn't turn on. I said to the guy, it's not working. He's like, oh yeah, it works fine, it's just not charged up. I said, do you have a charger? Because it's like, there's no charger here, is there? It's just the camera and the battery. He's like, oh yeah, it's over here under the bag, in the bag with all the cables under the table. I was like, what are they doing down there? Put them on display. Oh, but he wanted £25 for a camera that wouldn't turn on. It wouldn't turn on at the time. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't work. He told me it says it works, it's fine, no problem. But I've only got his word for that. I don't know that. I don't know whether the battery's no good. I don't know whether there's a problem with one of the switches. I don't know any of that. I'm certainly not going to pay £25 for it. Now, it could have sold for £50 or £60. Some people have been getting that for that model. But £25 without it running. No thank you. Anyway, another store, I found this. Or rather, I saw this case and I said, oh, is that a camera? And he said, oh yeah, yeah. Showed me the camera. Actually, I think the camera was sat on top of the case, like that. And the case is just a hammer, which is, you know, very third party. Not a good third party either. And it had a card and a battery. That's where the focus is. I'm trying to... There's no autofocus on today, so that there's a depth of field for my face, but it was getting the focus wrong in the last video, so I decided against it. Anyway, the battery comes out, it's not swollen, which is a bonus, but it wasn't turning on, so I said to him, how much is it? And he's like, £3, which is a much more realistic price. But this is a 20 megapixel, nice camera. Anyway, I have taken the battery out and charged it with my own charger. And it is working. It's got an 8 gig card. I can take a photo of you. It should come up with the shot. There you go. 8 gig card, 20 megapixel camera. I said to him, would you take £2? And he said yes. So I got that for £2, which is a really nice buy for £2. That could be a £40 or £50 camera, I'm not certain. It doesn't have a charger, and that's, I mean, I've got a multi-charger and I charged it with my multi-charger. It will devalue it a little bit, but nice for the money. And the last thing was this PlayStation Lite. I've got the adapter already plugged in. I actually had it on the shelf earlier on, flashing away. So the adapter cable's a bit naff, and anyway, I saw it. It wasn't lit up, obviously. It does do lighting up and changing these. There's a slow cycle where it just rolls slowly along. There's a permanently on. That's the slow one. And this one will light up next, and this one will go off. There you go. So, there you go. So I said to the guy whose stall it was, oh, how much is that? And there's this little lad of about 9 or 10, and he said £1. And I'm just getting my money out. I'm you know, £1. I didn't know it was working at the time. And his dad's like, no, you can't sell him it for £1. And I'm like thinking he's going to say it's £3. He says, because it's broken. You remember you broke it. And I'm like, oh shit. So anyway, he says to the little lad, he says, do you remember it's got these brakes in it? It's like this comes out and it's like the wire's fine, but the plastic's broken and this is chipped. And he's like, I'm like, I'll give him £1 anyway. No. And his father's going, no, he's got to learn to look after his stuff, otherwise there's consequences. Fair enough, here's 50p. Oh, I felt sorry for the little kid, but his dad was insistent I only paid him 50p. But yeah, it's quite nice. I won't be selling this, I'll keep it. I think I'll probably put some super glue on my bit of on my square light there. I hold it back together again. It's rattling. The bit of plastic's in there somewhere. Probably take it apart and find it. It's also running on treble A's. If that's working, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's been opened in a while. But yeah, quite nice for 50p, even with the chips. Okay, really. I would have happily given the kid £1. So in total, that was £23.50 in Hull, £57 in North Cave, £80 50p. Quite a good weekend's purchases, and some stuff's going to make me a good bit of money, and other stuff's a bit of a fail. But I enjoyed myself. It was lovely weather, and I've got that Switch to play about with for a bit until I sell it off. I might sell it before Christmas, you never know. If I get bored with it, I'm not using it as much as I used to use like the DS's. I've got like 3 DS's, but at least 2 of those are like collectible, so they stay. The Switch, I'll have a go with it. There's lots of free things you can download and play with. Plus, of course, some of the games are getting a lot cheaper now. So, I will speak to you later. Bye.